Drake is one of the biggest rappers in the world, and today we're breaking down everyone he took shots at on Travis Scott's new album, Utopia. Travis Scott dropping his first album in 5 years was massive news in the rap game. A lot of people weren't sure how many fans would be rocking with it after the Astroworld tragedy in 2021, but the album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart and sold almost 500,000 units in the first week. Every track hit the Billboard Hot 100, and it's also his first album to debut #1 in the UK. Travis Scott making his comeback was huge, but there's a reason why everyone is talking about Drake's feature on the track Meltdown more than anything. Drake and Travis have linked up for a lot of collabs before, and on Travis Scott's last album, Astroworld, they dropped the track Sicko Mode and ran up almost 2 billion streams just on Spotify alone. There was already a ton of hype behind Meltdown before anyone even heard it, but nobody was expecting what happened next. On the track, Drake rapped, "Man, fuck all that spinning the narrative shit. I'll melt down the chains that I bought from your boss. Give a fuck about all of that heritage shit. Since V not around, the members done hung up the Louis, they not even wearing that shit. Don't come to the boy about repairing some shit. Don't come to the boy about sparking some shit. You lucky that Vogue was suing, cause I would've been with the Wassas in Paris and shit." At first, everyone thought this was a shot at Pharrell Williams and that Drake might be going to war with Pusha T again, and this is why. The Drake and Pusha T beef that took over the rap game a few years ago didn't even start with them. And to understand how everything got so crazy, we have to go all the way back to the early 2000s. Back then, Pusha and his brother No Malice were called Clips. Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo had a production duo called the Neptunes, and they were the ones behind most of Clips' beats. Birdman from Cash Money Records featured Clips on a track called What Happened to That Boy, but rumors said that there was some money issues going on behind the scenes, and that's when the beef started. A few years after that, Pharrell was getting into fashion and launched a brand called Billionaire Boys Club. Rumors said that Lil Wayne hit him up to ask for some clothes, but Pharrell wasn't rocking with him because of the Birdman situation and never sent any merch. That wasn't the only issue though. Pharrell, Pusha T, and No Malice were the first dudes in the rap game to start rocking Bape. And after Lil Wayne shot a cover of Vibe wearing Bape clothing, Clips dropped the track Mr. Me Too and clowned everyone for jacking their style with No Malice rapping, "Wanna know the time? Better clock us. Niggas bite the style from the shoes to the watches. We cloud hoppers, tailor suits like we mobsters, break down keys into dimes and sell them like gobstoppers. Who gon' stop us? Not a goddamn one of you." After the track dropped, Lil Wayne took a shot at Pharrell when he talked to Complex and said, "That nigga wore Babes and y'all thought he was weird. I wore it and y'all thought it was hot." The beef between Clips, the Neptunes, and the Cash Money crew was pretty calm for a while, but when Drake joined Cash Money, everything started heating up fast. Drake talks about being a Clips fan back in the day, but in 2011, he allegedly took his first shot at Pusha on the track Dreams Money Can Buy when he rapped, and I feel like lately, it went from top 5 to remaining 5. My favorite rappers either lost it or they ain't alive. Pusha used the same beat for his track Don't Fuck With Me and clapped back with the line, "Rappers on their sophomores acting like they boss lords." Then on the track Exodus 23-1, he clowned Drake for being signed to Young Money, Cash Money, and Universal Records with the line, "Contract all fucked up, I guess that means you all fucked up. You signed to one nigga that signed to another nigga that signed to 3 niggas. Now that's bad luck." Lil Wayne finally hopped in and tweeted, "Fuck Pusha T and anybody that love him." After that, Pusha and Drake traded shots for a few years, but in 2018 the situation went crazy and everybody knows how it ended for Drake. Pusha dropped one of the most savage diss tracks of all time and exposed Drake for all kinds of things, including hiding the fact that he had a child with an ex-porn star. Everything went quiet for a while, then in 2022, Drake hopped on Jack Harlow's track Churchill Downs and rapped, "Praying on my downfall don't make you religious, man. All I hear is plug talk coming from middlemen. All I hear is tall tales coming from little men. When I say bitch, I'm very rarely referring to women. Most of the bitches I know are niggas, they not even women." After the track leak, Pusha went on the Breakfast Club and said it wasn't even worth responding to.
So you ignore it, or do you?
Yeah. I honestly feel like, and from the sound of it, it just sounded old to me.
Gotcha.
Like it's not like fresh.
But even if he wasn't sending new shots back, Pusha made it clear that he didn't plan on squashing anything with Drake.
So when Ye and Drake was beefing, and of
Right.
course you jumped into the beef, right?
Right.
Then they squashed the beef.
Right.
Where does that leave you?
Oh man, I'm still outside.
I'm outside.
But how does that make you feel? That was just your man beefing, and then they squash it, and now you still outside beefing.
I'm still outside.
Meltdown is the first time Drake sent shots at Pusha in a while, but it actually all started with his collab tape with 21 Savage last year. Pharrell started an auction house and put up a bunch of his own jewelry to sell, and an unknown buyer picked up over $3 million of his old ice. Nobody knew who it was at first, but in the video for Jumbotron Shit Poppin', Drake was spotted rocking some of the pieces. That's why most people think the Meltdown lyric, "I'll melt down the chains that I bought from your boss, give a fuck about all that heritage shit," was aimed at Pharrell and Pusha. Another link to Pharrell is the line, "Since V not around, the members done hung up the Louis, they not even wearing that shit." Virgil Abloh was the creative director for Louis Vuitton before he tragically passed away, and earlier this year, news broke that Pharrell Williams is being brought on to replace him. It all makes a lot of sense, and there's a good chance that the bars were aimed at Pharrell and Pusha. But some fans think it goes way deeper than that, and instead of just dissing his rap rivals, Drake might be getting involved with something deadly. It all allegedly started when Kodak Black was rocking with a New York drill rapper named 22G's a few years ago. 22G's has issues with GS9, and they're cool with a Toronto set called Wasp Gang. Drake has shouted Wasp Gang and their main rapper Pressa out in his tracks before, like on the song War when he said, "Wassa Wassa, just like the Crody Pressa. I don't do no passa. Link with Skull and Cuz and Jamie, Yard and we didn't Pongaza. Pasha Sasha pissed. I was way too young at the time for slashings. You niggas spend too much time on captions, not enough time on actions." Pressa and the Wasp Gang are some of the most feared dudes in Toronto. Their set is named after Pressa's homie Wasi, who was killed in a shootout with the cops while he was on the run for a double homicide. Then in 2016, Wasp Gang was throwing a party in Toronto when an op set called the Queens Drive Crips pulled up and both sides started letting off shots. Nobody got hurt, but what happened next let everyone know that Wasp Gang weren't the ones to play with. They kidnapped two dudes affiliated with the Crips and held them hostage for 2 days. Wasp Gang tied them to chairs and beat them, forced them to play Russian roulette with a real loaded gun, and made them perform sexual acts on each other. Wasp Gang even recorded the whole thing on video and threatened to leak it if their families didn't hand over a ransom payment. Eventually, they let the Crips go and they were taken to the hospital. They wouldn't work with the cops at all, but they still managed to link the brutal crime to Wasp Gang and book Pressa for kidnapping, possession of a firearm, and assault. Drake started rocking with Pressa while he was fighting the case. They've been tight ever since. Eventually, Pressa's charges were dropped in the kidnapping situation, and 2 of his homies went down for it instead. And last year, he and his Wasp Gang crew allegedly tried to take out Kodak Black when they caught him in LA. Yak was trying to make it in a Justin Bieber Super Bowl party, but a fight broke out while he was outside talking to fans. It's still not clear exactly what went down, but at some point shots started going off and Kodak got shot in the leg. Kodak and Wasp Gang sent a few low-key disses back and forth after it went down. But in January, Preston and his homie YG let everyone know the beef was real when they pulled up to Fashion Week in Paris and clowned Kodak from the sidelines while he was on the runway. When all of that was going down, Drake was fighting a lawsuit from Vogue. 21 Savage and him made a fake Vogue cover to promote their collab project Her Loss, so the company that owns Vogue hit him with a $4 million lawsuit. That's why fans think the Meltdown line, "You lucky that Vogue was suing you cause I would've been with the Wasses in Paris and shit," seems like it might be aimed at Kodak. That's not the only evidence that Drake and Yak are beefing though. Pressa later posted a pic of himself with Drake and captioned it with, "Brody would've been in Paris with the Wasses and shit. #Meltdown." What's wild about the situation is that Drake and Kodak have always been cool. Drake allegedly gave Yak a few hundred racks worth of Bitcoin, and there were rumors flying that they had a project together in the works.
This nigga text me like, "You got Bitcoin?" I'm like, "Man." He was like, "Set up a Bitcoin wallet." That fuck nigga sent me with 6.6 coins. I mean, and at the time, the shit was like 32,000 a coin. Shit. And then over time, the coins got up to like 40 bands a coin. So then that shit came in like, it's really like 300,000 in my Bitcoin wallet right now.
But back in February,
I had told Drake I ain't wanna do no collab, like no songs or no album, cause we supposed to been did a whole album together before him and Lil Buddy. I had told him I wanted to wait like 2023, like after February.
if Drake is really picking a side in the war between Wasp Gang and Kodak Sniper Gang, then this would be the most serious beef of his career. Both sides have dudes that are really about that life, and it's a totally different level than some industry drama. Kodak, Pusha, and Pharrell aren't the only dudes that Drake allegedly dissed though. Back in April, Childish Gambino had an interview with GQ where he admitted that his track This Is America actually started out as a Drake diss.
And it started as a Drake diss, to be honest. It's like, I was like, as like a funny way of like doing it, but then I was like, this shit sounds kind of hard though.
The only line of the song he had in the beginning was, "This is America," and he thought that it would be a funny way to diss Drake. Gambino didn't seem like he was taking it seriously, but a few months later, Drake was in the middle of a show and a message came across the stage that said, the overrated and over-awarded hit song, This Is America, was originally a Drake diss record. So when Drake dropped the line, "Heard your new joint, it's embarrassing shit. You talk to the cops and some therapist shit. You act like you love this American shit, but really the truth is you scared of the six." Yeah, you scared of the 6. A lot of fans thought it was aimed at Gambino. It's not clear if Drake is really trying to spark something with Gambino, but Travis Scott was way more direct when he dissed his ex and her new boyfriend. Travis Scott and Kylie Jenner have been publicly dating on and off for years. Plus, they even have 2 kids together. But after they broke up the last time, Kylie started dating an actor named Timothée Chalamet. A few months ago, news broke that Chalamet is playing Willy Wonka in a new movie. And on Meltdown, Travis took a shot at Kylie and him with the line, "Wrapping the cheese, wrap around me cause I've got property. Chocolate AP and chocolate the V's. Got the Willy Wonka factory. Burn an athlete like it's calories. Find another flame hot as me, bitch." Drake and Travis Scott sending disses isn't the only drama around the album though. For the first 4 days after it was released, Travis didn't list any of the features on streaming platforms. But even after he gave everyone else credit, fans noticed that Casey still wasn't listed for the work they did on the track Thank God. Someone on Twitter asked why the feature was still hidden, even though Casey allegedly wrote most of the track and sings the hook. And Casey retweeted it and said, "I'm not no background singer. Fuck Trav.